Now we review the 2005 film, What If Frankenstein Were a Jet Plane? I mean stealth. Stealth. Yes. If Frankenstein were a jet plane. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Random Street Theater. I am Richard Leland Neal, and I have seen Stealth, which was on my radar for many years, but I never saw it until I got my genuine Ryan McBeth Department of the Boat People t-shirt from Bunker Branding. If you are a boat person or have a boat person who's close to your heart, you should head on down to Bunker Branding and get yours today. Ryan McBeth, by the way, is a YouTuber who jokes that he knows very little about the Navy, hence the Department of the Boat People shirt. And he debunks misinformation and talks about the military. If you have a military question, he's the person to ask. And honestly, done a lot of awesome things for my people in the Ukraine. And so you'll know I am so Ukrainian that a Russian actually came up to me and apologized for the war. And Ryan just seems like a really fun dude. I mean, you know, bourbon, cigars, and a militaria. What more could you want? So check him out on YouTube. You probably won't be disappointed unless you don't like being smart, in which case, yeah. But in addition, I would also like to mention that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean then pulls a pound of the trash out of the ocean. They sent me an email recently saying that I pulled 31 pounds of trash out of the ocean. I have less than 7,000 subscribers on all of my channels. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Anyway, so the film Stealth exists in an alternate universe where we have experimental stealth planes going on training missions with live rounds, which does not happen. And these stealth planes, there are 3 of them, are joined by an AI drone that has all the capabilities of a regular plane named Eddie. They also nickname him Tin Man, which is redundant. During their training mission where Eddie is supposed to learn from the 3 pilots who should be nowhere near an aircraft carrier because they're in test planes, they get intelligence saying that a group of Daddy L baddies are meeting and we could take out the heads of like 3 terror cells, except for the fact that we don't have the right ordnance on these planes. Let's be clear here that these planes were launched from the Abraham Lincoln, which is a sizable aircraft carrier, likely with just under 100 aircraft to her name, and they could get something armed and ready to do that, okay? Or they could just recall the planes, which would be the better idea, and reload them, and then send them after Daddy L Batty. But instead of doing that, the planes are on mission, and they just send them after Daddy L Batty, all right? Now, we're kind of getting into spoiler territories at this point, but needless to say, you have your people that do the right thing, even though it's dumb and it's against orders and it puts lives in danger. And that's a common theme in military movies. But then your AI learns from that and starts not following orders, all right? Now, there is a lot of bending the rules to make this movie. I mean, they start out on the Abraham Lincoln. I think they do a mission in the Middle East. There is a crash in Russia, a crash in North Korea, and then a plane, after refueling from a blimp, winds up in Alaska. Now, I don't know what the distance on a fighter jet is. These are fighter jets, all right? And I do remember that I think back in the 70s, it was about 3,000 miles was your maximum range for a fighter jet. And this is way over that. But I mean, there was refueling involved, and they're experimental, so maybe. But the bodies of the planes are way too small to be experimental enough for them to carry enough fuel. They also have the forward swept wings. I believe it's the French Tornado that has that, and this makes the plane more maneuverable, but I believe it impacts its overall durability and makes the airframe less reliable. That all aside, it's a silly movie with a lot of things that don't exist. And the level of technology, there's no reason we couldn't have a refueling blimp, except for the fact that I don't think the refueling blimp could fly slow enough for the planes to refuel. Or no, I don't think the planes could fly slow enough for the refueling blimp to match up with them. I mean, I think the blimp would have to be going at significant speed for that connection to happen. Blimps are not fast. They're long time airborne. And, further, why would we need assets like that? We don't plan missions. If we needed to refuel midair, we would send a ship to do that. Or we'd send an aircraft to do that. So there's a lot of things wrong with this movie. And it has, fairly clunky dialogue and fairly cliche heroes. And there's only one hot chick. And, it was in the commercials for this that she ran around in this beautiful blue bikini. And, of course, she was really hot. And there should have been more hot chick. This is a popcorn movie. And being a popcorn movie, hot chicks are important because you have guys who drink beer, eat popcorn, and watch movies. And this being PG-13, you really want to have that hot chick so that all the 14-year-old boys will be like, yeah, I'm going to watch this movie and see the hot chick so that mom doesn't catch me looking at dirty movies and slap the crap out of me. So there's that. So look, Stealth is a very unrealistic, silly science fiction movie that plays itself straight. It's not so bad it's good, but it's not utterly terrible. It's just not great. So, it's not good. It belongs in the lower half of your watch list. If you're into science fiction films and you want to watch a movie with solid plane action, perhaps after you've had a few beers and already seen Top Gun for the umpteenth millionth time, Stealth is not a bad film to see. It is, however, not a good film to see and not to be sought out. That is just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard.
Randall the Rat here, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. And why should you do that? Well, look over here. These are bracelets from 4Ocean. Each one of them means a pound of trash was pulled out of the ocean. And this channel buys one for every 1,000 subscribers it gets. And this around my neck, well, this is a medal from the Conqueror. It represents walking around the Great Pyramids of Giza. You can get one for yourself by going to the Conqueror challenges.com and saying, hey, I want to pretend I walked around the pyramids of Giza without dealing with all the sweat and flies and delicious scarab beetles. Or you could support this channel so they can buy more of these, which means that they will plant trees, because each one of these represents 5 trees that got planted. Yeah, that's right, 5 trees, helping your environment. Global warming sucks. Be a good person, comment, like, and subscribe. Give us more money so that we can plant trees by buying medals from the Conqueror. Randall out.